as we begin this first month of 2025, you've probably asked yourself the normal New Year's question, like, what is it that I want to do with my life? What do I want to do different this year than what I did last year? What do I want to accomplish? Where do I want to go? What do I want to see? Those are great questions, but what I want you to ask this year is, what do I want to write? We're going to talk about that in this video, so join me.
You have a story to tell, but you don't know where to start. Let me show you how to free your story. I teach you how to write and how to dig deep in your soul to release your story and make a difference in the world.
I'd like to welcome you to the Julia Amante channel. If we are just meeting, this is your first time here. I'm Julia Amante. I'm a women's fiction author, and I create videos to help other writers achieve their dream of writing their book. So today we're going to talk about, what is it that you should write? And the answer to that is really simple. You should write what you want to write. So my very first point is going to be not to follow the crowd. I think a lot of problems that new writers have is that they see a book that is working. There is a bestseller, there's a genre that seems super popular, and so writers decide that that's what they're going to write. They're going to write in that genre. They're going to write those type of books, whether they be romances, whether they be vampire books, whatever seems to be popular. That's what new writers think. Well, why not? It seems to be selling. Everybody likes it. I'm going to write that. But unfortunately, that is a poor strategy to use, because by the time you write that copycat book that is similar to a popular book, the trend may have already passed, right? Publishers, editors may no longer want that kind of book. Readers may be tired of reading that. By the time it gets published, some other trend may have overtaken the market. The only time that you should actually jump on a trend is if you are already writing what just happens to become popular. So if you're already writing books about vampires and all of a sudden books start to become popular in that genre, and all of a sudden a book comes out about vampires, becomes a big hit, and all of a sudden now that is the next best trend, right? Big trend. Then it's like, oh, I'm already writing that. Then you jump on it, send it to editors, send it to publishers, because you're already doing that. You're already writing what became popular. And publishers at this point would take notice, because they also are looking for what's popular, right? So at first, when a book breaks out, they do look for other books that are similar, because they want to continue to make money. So they do the same thing we do. We think, oh, well, that's popular, let me write that. Publishers are like, well, that's popular, let me publish that. So if you're already writing in that genre or about a topic that seems to be hot, then sure, send it to the publishers. They'll probably be very interested. But don't write something you've never written before just because it seems to be popular. It's not going to be your best work, and you're going to be forcing something that, again, may go out of style before your book is even out. So what do you do instead? Well, you write what you like, you write what you want. So don't think about what's popular. Don't think about what your favorite author writes. Don't even write about what you used to write in the past. That may not be something that interests you today. Write what you want and what you're interested in now. Sometimes what we've written in the past is interesting to us then for some reason. Maybe because we're younger, maybe because it's just a topic that tended to interest us in the past. Maybe we've written about something so many times that we're no longer really excited about it. So you don't have to continue to write the things that you used to write. One of the things that I did about 3 years ago is I started writing blogs, nonfiction. And I had never done that before, but I thought, I feel like doing this. I'm a teacher. I like to teach. I want to write blogs about writing. I'm going to do that. It was a different type of writing, and I actually enjoyed it. So if you enjoy something, even if it's different, you tend to want to do it. You tend to want to learn more about it. And that didn't mean that I no longer wanted to write romance books or women's fiction books. It just meant that I wanted to write something different in addition to what I already wrote. So I continued to write women's fiction novels. I just published a romance. So I'm still doing that, but I'm also expanding my repertoire and writing nonfiction. So I'd like you for this year to explore what it is that you like, to really ask yourself, what is it that I want to write? What do I feel like writing? Maybe I want to explore a different genre. Maybe I should read a little bit more in a different genre to see how I feel about it. Maybe I should try writing a scene in a different genre, or sketching out an outline about a different type of story. Think about what you'd really like to do and write that. So I want you to create a new vision for your writing and for yourself. Decide what type of writer you want to be this year and start to take the steps to become that writer. Because what I want you to do is to keep evolving as a writer. Now, you may be perfectly happy writing what you're writing, and that's fine. You'll just create a new project writing the same type of material that you've written in the past. That's fine. Then your goal is going to be just to create a new project, have a new story. But I know for me, like I said, I just wrote a romance, a Christmas romance last year, and I wanted to try something different. So it was still a romance, but I wanted to add a little bit of supernatural elements to it. It wasn't major because that's not the type of writing that I usually do, but because there's Christmas, there's magic, I felt that this story would lend itself well to having a little bit of that. So I could experiment a little with writing a different type or a different style of writing, and I really enjoyed it. I really had a good time doing it. It stretched me in a new direction, but it allowed me to continue to write in the genre that I am good at and that I'm comfortable writing in. Now, one question that you may be asking is, well, wait a minute, but I'm supposed to be creating a brand, right? You do hear that from writers, from marketers. You want to create your brand, and that when readers pick up your book or your stories, they know it's you because it's similar themes or whatever your brand happens to be. And that is true. If you're a romance writer, if you are a thriller writer, you're going to tend to write those same types of books. But many things may be happening. Maybe you're not getting a huge readership in that brand or in that style of writing that you have chosen. Maybe you're not enjoying it anymore. Maybe you've written many of those and now you really want to try something else. So I don't want you to be tied to a brand. I want you to be tied to loving writing, writing what it is that you feel like writing now. Because you never know, you may be changing your style a little bit, and that may be the style that takes off. You may be changing your style a little bit and just really connect again with your love of writing and write a better story. And then that may lead to readers noticing, wow, there's more passion in this story. There's more interest. This writer's really capturing me because you're loving what you're writing and your readers are loving what you're writing. So don't allow yourself to be stuck because I want to stay with my brand or I want to continue to write the same thing I've always written, because that's not a good reason to write. You want to write stories that you love, that you want to share with readers. So for this year, just think about what you find joyful, things that you love to write, and write that. Another thing that I really love in the new year is just having a new writing project. So even if you are planning on writing the same style and everything else that you've always written, that's cool, but start a new project, start something new, finish up what you've been writing. If you are still finished, you're finishing up a project from last year, and start a new project. At least plan it when you finish what you're currently doing, to begin a new project, because it gives us something to look forward to and we can continue to see ourselves as writers in the new year. That is my suggestion for you for 2025. Ask yourself what you want to write this year and start planning it and start writing it. Let me know in the comments below what your project is, what you've decided to write, and any questions that you may have. I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you for being here. I will see you again next Friday. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and come back next week for my next writing tip.